Sticky Icky Truth here to bring it to you all.
They want us to forget. And I want you to read the fine print because they want us to forget. Now we're talking about June 19, 1865. June 19, 1865 predates the Emancipation Proclamation that was signed January 1st, 1863. Why is this important? Because the Emancipation Proclamation is what made light to us to celebrate today. When Gordon Granger rode in on his horse in Galveston, Texas to announce with General Order Number 3 that all the enslaved people shall be free. Now this is important because more than 2 years had passed, and given that social media wasn't around, it was very hard to get information around in a timely manner, but also probably information was withheld. But I want you to read the fine print. Many people celebrating Juneteenth have never even read General Order Number 3. The Emancipation Proclamation wasn't just to free the enslaved people, it was also a wartime strategy. Because Abraham Lincoln wanted to save the Union, he is actually noted by saying that if he could save the Union without freeing any slaves, he would do it. He also noted if he could save the Union without freeing some, he would do it, and if he could save the Union without freeing any at all, he would also do that. So it wasn't any moral conviction that he necessarily had. It was something in order to strategize, in order to win the war. But you need to read the fine print. So General Order Number 3 reads this: the people are now informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights, rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between an employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported to idleness there or elsewhere. My question to you is, we were free to do what and to go where? You have to read the fine print. See, the Emancipation Proclamation that led up to June 19th and General Number 3 order also came with contradictions to freedom. And those limitations to freedom were that many were told to remain in their homes. Their homes was also mentioned as plantations. Formerly enslaved people were expected to continue laboring for their former enslavers. They also wanted to keep economic systems intact. Freedom was declared, but their protections was limited. Freedom without land ownership, what is that? Read the fine print. Freedom without voting rights, what is that? You have to read the fine print. Freedom without protection from violence, freedom without economic opportunity, freedom delayed is a freedom denied. You have to read the fine print. So I want to make a note that there were no slaves that were brought here to America. They brought human beings that were enslaved. They brought mothers, they brought children, they brought brothers, they brought sisters, they brought families. They brought human beings whose freedom and humanity was stolen. So my question again is, were they really free? What changed besides the title? How did the slave become the employee, while many systems remain unchanged? You have to read the fine print. So the Constitution begins with the word "we the people." And for millions of Black African Americans, those promises were denied for generations and still are. Juneteenth represents that extension of liberty. It also represents the exclusion of those protections. It marks the beginning of the struggle to make constitutional promises a reality. Freedom on paper is not freedom in reality. The struggle continued after Juneteenth, 1865. With Reconstruction, the struggle continued with the Black codes. The struggle continued with convict leasing. The struggle continues with Jim Crow laws. The struggle continued with redlining, with voting rights, with mass incarceration, with the ongoing fight for justice and equality. So you have to read the fine print. A freedom delayed is a freedom denied. But I also want to make you aware that no man and no paper ever gave Black Americans anything. We fought for it, we organized for it, We sacrifice for everything that we've ever gotten in order to have constitutional rights that many of you are afforded today. In the words of Frederick Douglass, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. And progress concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. So today I'm going to ask you that you have to understand that freedom must be protected. Freedom must be expanded and it must be defended. So when you're out here celebrating Juneteenth, you need to keep in mind how you are going to help your community, how you can advance freedom and justice, how you can speak in truth, how you can stay informed, how you can stay organized, and read the fine print. Continue the work of Juneteenth, continue the work on ongoing struggle and liberation, not only for us, but for all people who are benefiting from this struggle and from this enslavement this country has done. So thank you for having me. Again, June 19, 1865 is when the last of the enslaved people found out that they shall be free in Galveston, Texas. It's important that we honor those who came before us, like I'm honoring my grandfather, Willie James Mims, who would have probably been here today. It's important that you read the fine print, because a lot of long words are put out there because they do not expect people to read. And my grandfather would say they want you to forget because they don't hope that you can read. So read the fine print, educate yourself, know thyself, and remember, they want us to forget, and I'm here to make sure we don't. I'm the Sticky Icky Truth, here to bring it to you, also named Naila. And happy Juneteenth, and don't forget, but read the fine print.